G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Cold Waters with Mags, and welcome to the South China Sea campaign. Or, well, welcome back to the South China Sea campaign anyway, as it were. This is the second mission I've been given. Today we are at Qingdao. Qingdao, of course, being a Chinese port city on the Yellow Sea, actually not all that far from Korea. Now, our mission objectives for today. This is a TLAM strike mission. I've been actively trying to avoid these for quite some time, and the very second mission I'm given is to go up to one of the major Chinese ports in the campaign and hit it with TLAMs. So, yeah. So, anyways, we're just having a little bit of a look around at the moment. I can't see anybody on passive sonar, which is actually kind of worrisome considering that I'm in a Seawolf. I should be able to detect at least a couple and get some good solid contacts, but we have no contacts at this point. But we are getting pings in the water, so I do know that there is one target directly to our west at the moment. Outside of that, I don't know what else is around. Now, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, TLAM strike. The objective is to hit this port with 8 TLAMs, so I'm going to do this very aggressively. We're firing the whole lot in one massive volley, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. And it's really disappointing me that I don't know where everybody is, because I want to plan out my exit path. If we got one to the west, I think we're going to have to run east and hope that there's nobody there to intercept us as soon as we've launched the volley. So I want to be turning when the missiles leave the submarine. Now, the second thing you'll notice on the map, there is no targeting circle anymore. You used to have to fire the TLAMs at a targeting circle and then they would go to the target. Now you just fire the TLAMs at the port and the targeting will take over as soon as the missiles go active. I think the targeting issue, or targeting the circle, may have actually been something that was causing the missions to break in previous campaigns, so they've taken that away. It's been gone for a little while now, but yeah. Okay. So we've still got no contact to the west, but we're about halfway through our turn. Now I'm going to fire this first TLAM, and then immediately reload a Moss. Then we're going to cycle the rest of these out. So 3, 4, 5, and last of all, 8. All missiles are away, and we'll start reloading all of our tubes with torpedoes, because that is going to piss somebody off. And while I can't detect any contacts around here, I imagine I will be able to in just a few moments. And that wasn't me firing one, so somebody's fired a rocket-propelled torpedo at my direction. So maintain 10 knots. I don't want to go too fast here. We're in some really shallow water. We're in the Yellow Sea, so there's only 170 feet at tops that we've got to play with. It's not exactly a particularly deep swimming pool here. Now, we're loading the first Moss, and I've got a second Moss that's going to be loaded as well. As soon as it's loaded, I'm going to get this thing off this ship so that enemy active and passive sonar, or passive sonar primarily, has something else to track that isn't me. So I'm going to fire that completely in reverse and then reload tube 1 with another Moss, because I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to actually need them here. Alright, so the Moss is just about clear, and then we're going to drop a countermeasure. And now, change course to head directly west, and here comes torpedo 1 in the water. Torpedo is aimed at our Moss. Torpedo's going to come back around, and it should detect the countermeasure. So we'll give it just a few more seconds, and then I'll drop another countermeasure. I want to try and get as much separation between these two as I can. Alright, now that'll cause the torpedo, hopefully... maybe not, we're going to have to dodge this one. Oh no, there it is, it's starting to turn. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is drop two countermeasures with a gap in between. So what should happen is, as this torpedo makes its pass, if we successfully avoid it, which it looks like we're going to, it will ignore the countermeasure that we just dropped on its second attempt to acquire us. But it will detect the countermeasure that we dropped earlier on. The gap in between will drag the torpedo away from us, and we have another torpedo coming in. Okay. Let's fire ourselves a Moss in the direction that this torpedo is heading. And another countermeasure, so this torpedo disengages, and it's on the Moss. And yep, we can see down the bottom left-hand corner the other torpedo is actually now turning back, but we've got quite a gap on it. Looks like the torpedo we dodged first has acquired the Moss. Second torpedo is still on the Moss. The rest of the airdrop torpedoes look like they've all landed where the first Moss that we've fired is, down to the south of us. Torpedo is circling back. Shit. Wait, nope. Its search pattern back right, so it's completely lost us now. So the first torpedo we dodged fine. Now we're going to dodge this one. Right, and it's got the countermeasure again, it's going to circle. Now, I'm not accelerating... That one was lucky. Now, I'm not accelerating past 10 knots here, because at the moment, these guys don't know exactly where I am. If you look at those torpedoes that were landing down south, the torpedoes that are landing around us at the moment, if you actually listen, there's a helicopter in the area. These are aerial deployed torpedoes. They're not particularly powerful, but it looks like the helicopters are just dumping them in the water around us, because they've got an idea that we might be here. But if you look at how many of them are in the water around us that are in an area that would never actually detect us, they're not entirely sure. If we start cavitating, they are going to detect exactly where we are, and the next volley of torpedoes will be focused directly on our location. Ah, shit, I thought I managed to dodge you, but you picked me up with active. Oops, no. Not 35. Oh! Okay. Not sure if ran out of fuel and self-detonated, or if proximity detonated based on the countermeasure, but in either case, that torpedo is no longer a problem. And that looked like it was the only one left in the area. The other ones all disappeared following the Moss, or are well out of the region. Looks like we've got a sonar buoy to our south. Well, it's either a sonar buoy or it's dipping sonar, and oh, hello there. We have Sierra number 1. Okay, so let's see what Sierra 1 is. Search for the submarines first, because there is always a chance. A looter. Yep, pretty sure that's a looter. There's 165 decibels in the water. SJ passive. It's got a towed array as well. And radar. Alright, so the biggest issue with these TLAM missions is how long it takes to get away. Getting into position... Oh, you dirty shit. How did you know I was here? Countermeasures? Why am I not deploying countermeasures? God damn helicopters. There's no way you should have known that I was here now. I dodged all of you. I dodged your sonar boys. I dodged all your torpedoes. And you just picked me out. Cheats. Now I'm at 5. And it's silent running. In a Seawolf class, you shouldn't have been able to hear me in the first place. You definitely shouldn't be able to hear me now. God damn it. As I said, I'm gonna have... The hardest part about these missions is actually escaping. And I'm gonna need a path out, especially now that this dirty shit here that shouldn't have been able to... I think you can use a civilian. Yeah, anyway, since that dirty, cheating helicopter that should not have been able to find me but just suddenly managed to be able to pinpoint my exact location on a blind guess, is floating about, I'm going to need an exit out of this area, and the easiest way to do that is usually to sink somebody and then put them between you and the people that are hunting you. So looking at the sonar pings and that dirty, dirty dipping sonar sitting above us, we've definitely got the helicopter floating about. We've got one to our west and we've got one to our southwest, and obviously the looter to our east. If I sink the looter and then sail straight through her wreckage, I should be able to go to 15 knots on the other side of her, and anybody on this side of her... Interesting, the helo's moving off. Anybody on this side of the looter will only hear the looter and not hear me at 15 knots, which will allow me to exit the area. Where is that? There it is. Oh, that's clever. Is that deliberate, or is that just a lucky coincidence? Regardless, we're gonna head this way. If you look at the relation of our submarine to the southwest, there is a sonar buoy. To our north, or a little bit to our northwest now, is the location for the dipping sonar for the helicopter that's currently being annoying. And then directly to our west, we have the looter. Does that or does that not look like somebody trying to triangulate something in the water? Yeah, I'm gonna keep heading southwest a little bit till I get close enough. Then I'm gonna sink the looter and sail through her cavitation as she goes down. Bastard hitting me with that torpedo. At least it didn't do a lot of damage. The Seawolf is incredibly durable. It's I think it's double pressure hulled and the works. It's designed to take a hit. It's a tough nugget. And aerial drop torpedoes have bugger all in the way of a warhead, so they don't do a huge amount of damage. The biggest issue is that usually when one hits you, it won't sink you, but the noise it generates is enough that everybody else fires at the noise, so getting hit by one generally means you get spam fired, but it didn't happen this time. So it was still at 86% on the pressure hull, so we're still good. We don't have an exact location on this either. We're only at 34%. What I'm going to do is get this torpedo clear, while we're far enough away that it should still not quite be able to hit us. And then we're going to do a direction change on the torpedo. This is a hook shot, pretty classic hook shot. We're going to send the torpedo up north, or northeast, almost to the navigation point that you can see that I've put in for it. Once it's almost there, I'm then going to turn the torpedo down and head towards the looter and go active on the sonar once the torpedo goes active. The active sonar will allow me to use the torpedo to find the looter, but because the torpedo is coming from a direction other than where I actually am, any counterfiring from the looter should go in the direction of the torpedo and not in the direction that I am. It should also pretty much guarantee that if that helicopter starts, looking for us after we sink the looter, it's going to look in the last position that the looter reported a torpedo coming from, which is going to be absolutely nowhere near where I am. It sounds stupid, but it does actually work. Still only 35%. So we hook. And we're going to leave it there. Now I don't want to change direction just yet, but basically what I'm going to do, as soon as the torpedo goes active and actually detects the looter and starts seeking the looter, we're going to change direction. And the reason why I'm waiting is so once the torpedo is locked onto the looter, if the wire breaks, it's not a major issue. There we go. Okay, now we change direction. If we keep the wire, beautiful. If we don't keep the wire, absolutely doesn't matter. At this point, the seeker head is active. It is now tracking the looter. It is. Looter's dropping countermeasures. Oh, that active is that. And we still have the wire at this point, so I'm going to give it a little bit of manual guidance. There we go. Reacquire. And impact. Looter is down. Thank you very much. Alright, so at this point what we're actually going to do is just give it a second just to make sure that no dipping sonar comes to here, to make sure this has actually worked. And then we're going to start heading towards the looter. Once we pass straight by her, as close as we can possibly get, we should be fine to accelerate out to 15 knots, which I think is about as fast as we're going to be able to go at this depth, and get the hell out of the area, hopefully with no more issues. Or at least that's the hope. So, mission results. This was a success. We successfully took out our target, that was the harbour, and it looks like we got a newspaper. Bullseye. Military installations in and around Qingdao, China have suffered extensive damage from what witnesses have called a massive cruise missile strike. Numerous uncontrolled fires remain burning nearly a day after the attack. Awesome, so that mission went off without a hitch. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. Cold Waters will be returning again very, very soon, and until next time, remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and as always, take care.